Now what I'm going to write, you will start writing. Okay? So I'm going to plug in up here on the top, topic, details, /info. All right? What do you think our first topic is going to be from page 10? It's a big long word. It's kind of tough to say. Sean, you know what it is? That's the word. It's tough, isn't it? It's tough. Anybody else want to take a crack at it? Aaliyah? Starts with a P. They've got that much. You want to try it? Paleolithic. We have ourselves a winner. Paleolithic. So our first topic is Paleolithic time period. That is a huge word, and it probably is made up, right? No, it's not. Okay, so Paleolithic is our topic. We're looking at details and info. The first thing I want to know, what does that word mean? So Paleolithic means something. It's not a rare delicacy in the lunch line. What is Paleolithic, Evan?
It means something in the paleo time.
Yes, it does. But what does the word Paleolithic mean? If you have your book open on page 10, you can probably see it. Zach, what is it?
Stone Age.
What?
Stone Age.
You gotta be more specific. Tommy?
Caveman.
Yes, that is true. It does mean cavemen. Tommy?
It means in Greek, Old Stone.
Old Stone Age. Okay? So this is our very, very earliest cavemen we're talking about. So really, really, really old folks. This is not even Utsi. Utsi is after this. So this is even before him. So this is Old Stone Age. This is a long, 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 long time ago. Okay? So those of you that remember from your reading on page 10, the next question is, or set of information we want to throw up here is, how did these people eat? McDonald's wasn't around. Couldn't run to Costco and stock up on 500 pounds of hot dogs. What did they do, Aaliyah?
They hunted.
Hunted is one thing they did. They were called hunters. And what? Sam, you with us on this one? Shanik, what was it?
They gathered berries and fruits.
Okay, so they were called hunters and gatherers. Yes, I know I spelled E-R-D-R, but that's how you spell it. Gatherers. Okay? We all know what hunters do. They go out, kill an animal, eat it. Pretty simple. What does gathering mean? What I'm gathering. What am I gathering, Haley?
Like berries and nuts.
Berries, nuts, fruits, things that are growing naturally. They're going out and eating grass. Okay? Edible plants, edible trees, bushes, things like that. Okay? There's a lot of things you can eat that you probably aren't even aware that you can. There's also a lot of things that will kill you or cause very, very much illness in you if you don't know what you're eating. Don't eat poison ivy. Okay?
That's true.
That's your lesson for today. Okay, so they're hunting and gathering. What do we know about their lifestyle? There was a vocab word that described them. They were called something because they were chasing the McDonald's all around, across the countryside. Because the McDonald's weren't staying still. What do we call those, Deja?
Nomads.
Nomads. Very good. Tommy, you writing that down, bud?
Yeah.
Nomads. And what are nomads, Deja? Do you want to help me out?
Yeah, they're people who regularly move from place to place, and they travel with 30 people sometimes. And
What were they chasing?
they're chasing I don't know, buffaloes around, but that's
They were chasing food. They were chasing the food. We said, we talked about it. Their refrigerators had legs. Okay? They couldn't stay still. Their animals were migrating. They were moving based on the seasons. They were going into hibernation. All that stuff was going on. So they had to follow them. Because the only thing these people worried about was survival. And to survive, you've got to eat. Okay? So nomads moving from place to place. Okay, good. My next question is, during this time period, what was the single greatest piece of technology that they had? Not a smartphone, not a computer. A what? No, they did not have a can and string. That would have been funny. Hey, Cassie. What? Fire. Very good. Fire. Okay. And what did fire do for them? It gave them 3 things. Connor, what's one? Okay, and you need what to cook? What is that? What does that provide for you? Connor? I heard it. Evan? Heat is one thing, which you need, as Connor said, to eat, cook your food up. Trinity, what's another thing? Scare animals away. We use that, we call that protection. Okay? And then what's the final thing? Erica?
Light.
Light.
That's smart.
Okay? And it provided them with light. Okay? And the other thing they had, their tools, what were their tools made out of? It's the old Stone Age. What are their tools made out of? Stone. Okay? So that's the old Stone Age. Alright? So then what do you think we're going to talk about next? The New Stone Age. Let's flip to a blank sheet. Okay, so moving on to our next topic, we'll go with blue. If we just said Paleolithic was Old Stone Age, what do you think our next topic might be? Ritesh? No. We're talking about Old Stone Age. Our next topic is going to be New Stone Age. So our next topic, we're going to kind of go backwards, means New Stone Age. So if that's what our definition is, then what's our new topic? What's the big word? We had Paleolithic was the first one. What's this one then? We're now on page 13 in the text. I think it might even be a red title. No. Yes, it is. Megan in the back? Neolithic. So this is the Neolithic age, or Neolithic time period. Okay? So we know it means New Stone Age, so this is really moving forward historically speaking. Okay? And there's one big thing, there's a couple big things, but one of the first things that marks the change from Paleolithic to Neolithic. Something happens. Peyton?
They started to domesticate.
They started to domesticate. What? What did they domesticate, Peyton?
Well, they started like farming, and they started staying in one place, and like instead of following the herds of animals, they start staying in one place, settling down, and they mainly started farming. Yeah.
You're ahead of the game. We're going to get to exactly what you said because that's all very important. They domesticated 2 things. One of them you kind of mentioned. What are they?
Animals.
And plants. And plants. Okay. Now, when we talk about the word domesticate, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does domesticate mean? If I'm going to domesticate an animal, what does that mean? Okay, think about a dog. Your fat, ugly, smelly dog. If you're domesticating a dog, what's the opposite of a domesticated dog? A wild dog. So you're taking wild animals, because all the animals in the early times are wild, and domesticating them, meaning, hey, I'm going to take all these wild animals, I'm going to put them in this little fenced area, get them fat, kill them, eat them. That's domesticating. Okay? Yes, they do tame some horses for riding. They domesticate oxen and large cow-like creatures for pulling plows eventually. And then dogs, at some level, were used as food guys, and then eventually as pets as well. Okay? So domesticating animals, all right, we kind of get that. What about domesticating plants? Jessica? Farming. Okay? Farming. So domesticating plants is, yes, we have all these plants that we were gathering food and fruit and berries and nuts and all things from. What about we take the seeds from them and plant them in rows and domesticate them? And that leads to what Peyton was saying. Okay? Farming. It's kind of important. It's kind of a big deal. You might want to make a note of it. Can I make it any more obvious that it's an important topic? Okay? Many historians will talk about farming being one of the single greatest events in human history. Okay? No, not the creation of the atomic bomb or even the smartphone. Okay? But farming. Why in the world would you think, or would they think, that farming would be the most important event in human history? Was the development of farming? Why would they say that? We would still be hunting for animals, true, but it allowed us to do something that opened the door to the dawn of civilization. Sounds very important, doesn't it? Gil? And if we stay at one place, what can we start creating?
Villages.
Villages. Okay? So it allows us to settle in villages. Alright? And in the very short time we have left here, we are going to create a quick list when they started settling in villages. What were the positives of being a village? Okay, more people leads to protection and security. What's another positive of living in a city? If you're planting and have all these animals to eat, you're going to have more food. Nay, you got another one?
They were able to trade.
Wow, that's a good one. They started trading. So in my town, I might have these awesome goats. Okay? And in Megan's town, she might have these awesome corn. I want some corn, she wants some goats. So we're going to trade. That makes sense, all three of you. All right? So it starts trade. And then the last big thing is that when you are settling in a town and you're not chasing your food all over the world, you have more time to sit and think. And thinking leads to more thinking, and more thinking leads to inventions. Okay? So they start inventing things and creating more technology. And one of the things they're going to really start developing and inventing is more tools, more effective ways to farm, making it easier, more efficient. And as a result of that, they're going to develop metal. Copper, bronze, tin, as we move through the development of these cities. Okay. And if you just think about it from a very practical standpoint, if you're not having to run all over the world and chase your food, you can stay in one place, it makes sense.